college. Of course, you were traveling into the past. Somehow travel into the future never really happened very well. Of course, all of those visits into the past produce all kinds of contradictions. And near as I can make out, you really can't do it. What about travel into the future? Well, I'm reminded of an anecdote involving the great physicist Enrico Fermi, in which he was with a group of people and they were all talking about all the possible intelligences are, or could be. And these are very imaginative people. And he got more and more puzzled looking. And finally, when there was a pause in the conversation, he said, "Well, where are they?" And everybody stopped, because nobody had ever met one, or seen one, or heard of one, or seen any evidence at all that they existed. Well, we know what's on Earth, kind of. I'm assuming we've got to go someplace else. How far do we have to travel? Let me start with the definition of a light year. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. Now, light travels at 10 to the 8th meters per second. There's a lot of seconds in a year. How far do we have to travel in order to contact these other people? Let me give you a quick hint without going into details. You know we live in the Milky Way galaxy, right? And roughly speaking, the size of the Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years. Suppose you wanted to travel a certain distance. How fast can you go? You can't go faster than the speed of light. That's the limit. And peculiar things start to happen when you approach that sort of speed. According to an observer that you just went flying by, your clock has slowed down. And the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower your clock runs. So let us imagine that we've found a place that you really are interested in, maybe 200 light years away. How fast can you get there? What do you think? Maybe half the speed of light? Okay. 200 light years away, that means it will take you 400 years to get there. Well, all right. Suppose you could make it to 95% the speed of light. Then you really could do it in maybe a year or so. Okay. So you've gotten there. You made it. Now you're interested in telling all the people that sent you what you did. So you need to return home. About another 400 years back. Of course, it's not 400 years for you. You're traveling very close to the speed of light. Your clock has slowed down. Maybe it's only another year. Not a big problem, right? Except when you get back here, do they still speak English? Is there still a nation called the United States? Have the continents shifted? What are you getting yourself into? This kind of travel is way beyond anything we can almost conceive of. There are also some problems. Suppose, for example, you want to have a representative to represent us to some completely alien civilization. Would you send Patrick?
I would.
Yeah.
Just imagine who you would send. Would you send a 10-year-old child? Man, woman? Who would represent you? Now look what you've gotten yourself into here. All of these things that we know suddenly have disappeared into space. And yet, really, seeing what is out there in the universe requires true, real time travel. Above all, it requires that you last that long. Longer than any civilization on this earth ever has before. Thank you.